Happy now. Now is vibrate, of course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now, matter of fact, I'm gonna give a little time for people to get into the room. You know, talking about energy updates. Matter of fact, I see I'm back in Louisiana. We're gonna speak on that, of course. About just how right now the energies is asking for us to create a foundation in the area that's needed. So, say for instance, like for myself and a lot of us, which we're all different, but like right now, my thing is working on the root chakra, like so almost like how the microcosmic orbit goes from the root to the crown and back to the root. Well, I'm getting back to the root chakra to, you know, create a stronger foundation in that area. Because for myself, I have some things that need to be cleaned up in the root chakra area. But reason why creating a foundation is the best word and not really like like creating or getting close to the roots, like because you could be so right now some of us are dealing with the root chakra, some of us are making the crown chakra much strong, creating a strong foundation in the root chakra. But like say for my case, I was kind of backwards to a certain extent. Of course I worked through the root chakra to some extent, but like I went straight to the crown chakra and created a foundation in the high chakra. But it's like shit, you create a foundation up there, but whoop, fall to the, like, hey, your foundation also got to be down here too in the root chakra. So, is creating that foundation on all levels. Blessings to y'all coming into the chat room. Mia Love, Superfly, Lex Lavo, Trill with Love, Jessica, blessings, y'all. Matter of fact, as I spark this up, matter of fact, because I'm also speaking of that, you know, uh, getting deeply rooted, like being deeply rooted was one, I say, yeah, it was, because of course I'm not going to deal with it in a fearful situation as I'm growing out of it. But like basically having a fear of being extremely grounded, like that's one of the situations, the reason why I'm back home in essence is to like, like to face a fear in essence. And that's what we going through right now. Is like to really, before the year 2020, for that vision get way more clearer, you know, we creating, becoming our greatest versions and just really locking in certain areas. Like right now on the energetic update vibe again, it's we're working on places that we need a little work in. So say for instance, like you may need some strong work in your solar plexus, some strong work in your throat chakra, some strong work in your root chakra, where you're gonna be placed in situations that's gonna, in essence, test and help you grow in that area. That's what a lot of us dealing with. That's why, for me, dealing with my auntie transitioning, which I'm gonna get into, dealing with transitioning also for a little while. But with my auntie transitioning and me getting to the to a place of having to come this way and having a reason to come this way, even down to her energy, like talking to me and letting me know, like, oh yeah, like I had this set up for you to come this way. But we definitely dealing with creating foundations in certain chakras. And I say for myself, speak on myself, I was being scared of being extremely grounded. I have an old video where I talk about how I don't like to deal with like grounding stones because it make me feel too. But that God is whole, and I can't run away from myself. So part of me, like being scared is like trying to run away from myself. Like I can't run away from my roots and my root chakra in essence. You know what I'm saying? I can't run away from having to ground myself. Like in essence, we have to ground ourselves in this physical plane. And when I say have to, I mean, of course, you don't really have to. Of course, you could, transition yourself out of your body if you wanted to. But you going along with the growth in the game of the situation, certain things that you have to, certain areas you have to grow in and build in. But basically, what's going on for me is an imbalance in the clashing between the higher nature and lower nature. That That's always, and you could see it sometimes throughout my video. Because again, with everything we do, is showing what's really going on inside. So you see that with my videos, where it's like the higher versus lower vibes, or sometimes it'll meet in the middle and be balanced. But again, that's a situation I'm dealing with in general. But for the most part, because they got the new moon and Virgo coming, and that deals with organization and grounding, earth energy. So again, like organizing, creating a foundation, in a certain area that needs, you know, cleaning or needs to be built up, in essence. And yep, true. If you had a wound work, definitely very important for females. And yet with the manifestation energy, you know what I'm saying? Because that wound, the energy, like all atoms, have like 99.9% of dark space in it. It's nothing but potential to manifest. Just like the darkness of the wound, the triple darkness, so to speak, of the nine or the three trimesters, you know. But definitely. And again, back on the vibes, it's that Virgo, organizing, getting things together. Come on, y'all. We gotta organize. Almost like some not as motherly as the Cancer vibe, that the Cancer would have, but Virgo still embodies somewhat of that nurturing mother-like energy to an extent as well. But again, it's more so about us organizing things, getting things, completing ourselves. It would be, like getting more into a completion stage, and there's different strokes for different folks to a certain extent as far as like where you at, on your growth. Because again, this is spiritual warfare, and just like spiritual warfare, as above, so below. This energy moves in waves. You know how they talk about a platoon, the first wave, or this first platoon, moving in a wave. You're using that direct analogy, like it's these vibrations, it's moving in waves. And so, like some of us are really kind of getting to a stage of like really completing ourselves. Like matter of fact, we was doing the clay sculpture, like we patting it and sanding and trying to put the little finishing touches. And when I say finishing touches, that's just more so to that new you, in essence of getting away from that old egoic mind, that old ego self. But again, we always growing, so it's never like, oh, now I'm complete. Like, no, we constantly growing, but it's just like just more of a fully balanced state as a spiritual being on a human experience. We're gonna come to a more place where a lot of us is just gonna be fully balanced throughout the chakras, and throughout our being of throughout our spiritual being, we're just gonna be more balanced. And again, that don't mean our job is done, but that means that is kind of like a little checklist type of vibe. Like all right, check mark. Kind of got this balancing vibe straight. Yeah, that reorganizing energy, or organizing energy, again, and that the whole situation for me to organize, get things straight. Like, all right, you need to do some root chakra work. You know what I'm saying? Bloop. Auntie transition. You know what I'm saying? Everything is in divine order, and I find myself in Louisiana. And again, being faced, because everything is a reflection of what's going on inside you. So if I'm coming across certain relatives or friends or people, and they might carry a vibration that might make me feel like, oh wait, hold on, I ain't really, you know and you gotta wait, you gotta stop for a second, like, hold on, I shouldn't be, because the reason why this vibration is probably bothering me, because it's something I probably need to love within myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's also paying attention to that fact as well. That's the whole thing. But yeah, again, it's not just root chakra work. It's basically building a foundation, or again, organizing. Building a foundation, and building a foundation. That's the earthy, earthy number four energy. You know what I'm saying? But it's an earthy vibe, and Virgo is a earthy vibe. Matter of fact, in most cases, with this new moon coming up, a lot of the earth signs are probably it's gonna be strongly, how can I say, not say strongly, you will feel the energy more strongly, but again, because it coincides with what you really deal with, you're gonna see like a lot of benefits in essence from this new moon in Virgo, you know, for the Tauruses and the Capricorns, you know, because again, it's all like in essence earthy, you know, even though Virgo, I mean, even though Virgo and Taurus not necessarily ruled by Saturn like a Capricorn, but it is like that, you know, Capricorn energy because of Virgo, you know, organization. That's what, you know, boundaries. That's what Saturn does, you know, is build boundaries, creates organization. So again, this is just helping us to organize whatever energy that we would need, that, you know, that we could use help in. You know, so like some people, like their root chakra and all their lower chakras is extremely, like they good in that level. You know, so it's time for them to build a stronger foundation in the higher chakras. Or some people got all of the chakras within the body straight. They trying to work on the you know, the lesser known chakras. Matter of fact, I got videos on that, but like they working on the palm chakra and the past life chakra and the spleen chakra and the earth star chakra under your foot, or the soma chakra, or the, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, some people creating a stronger foundation in those areas, but again, it's like organizing and creating a foundation right now. Like that's the whole vibe, you know, and me coming back home, dealing with that energy, you know. And also speaking to that, you know, with just in general with life, you know, a lot of us, all right, and two, a lot of us gonna be going through strong changes possibly right now, you know, and it may be the type of changes where you're looking at it like oh no, like well, you know, why this happened, you know, forgetting that the universe is always taking care of us, and you know, and you know, making sure things line up with our sole purpose, even though, you know, we'll look at it and see, like, feel like, oh no, like what's going on, you know, but it's like, nah, it's, you know, same thing with me. Like when I first felt the vibe of possibly coming back to Louisiana, you know, my ego popped in and was like getting scared, like, oh no, or what if this, what if you know, what if you get stuck, what if you don't make it back to Cali, what if, you know, what if, you know, and then I caught myself, and I say myself, caught my ego, because that's not me. I caught that egoic mind, and again, because you know your God self is not gonna be sitting around running, because again, your God self don't even play in your thoughts. It's a feeling, it's a vibe that you just get to do or don't do. You know what I'm saying? In essence, but it's not gonna be a bunch of little cackling in your head. You know what I'm saying? Of like, well, you know, I don't know. And that's your egoic mind, you know, playing with you and scaring you. That's another thing too. Why I would always say, you know, God and fear don't occupy the same body. In the essence, of course, God is everything. So indirectly, God is fear in essence too. But just on the real, on the stance of like, you know, the energy and our higher nature, you know, in essence, you know, it doesn't deal with fear, you know. So whenever you find yourself in an extremely fearful place, know that's your lower self, kind of having you being a little scared in essence. Blessings, y'all. What do I think of mantra sounds? Mantra sounds words are the vibration, mantras, and matter of fact Sanskrit. The more the older the language, or the more ancient the language, the stronger the energy behind the mantra. That's why, a lot of people go to, like, like with me, I do my Om. In fact, this is a good one. Om Shri Ganeshaya Nama. But that's one mantra for Ganesha to remove obstacles in your way. You know, and remember, Ganesha in essence is also Isu or Ishu or Elegba in Legba. So Papa Legba and Ganesha in essence is that same energy. Go Lucid Blog, go look up somatics and stuff like that. Go look up somatics and energy vibration. So basically, how the words or sounds create a certain energy. Oh, and Dr. Emoto for to really get deep into that. Something to keep us exactly we are all the time, but it's beyond that. Yeah. Matter of fact, that's another thing too. Sometimes you gotta take you gotta take one step one step back or two steps back in order to just leap forward. You know what I'm saying? And for me, dealing with coming back home again at first, like the ego, like scared, but then I caught like, well, you're on your house's transition while you're in Cali. When you go home, you're going. Of course, the environment not the same as Cali, but you're gonna have more of a foundation. You're gonna be able to really root. And again, I'm around my old environment. Old people, but it's basically trying to nurture me to love my grounded self, to love the grounded me, you know what I'm saying? Instead of feeling like when I'm grounded, like I'm the devil or something, you know what I'm saying? Because that's basically what be going on with that energy for myself. It's like, I treat my lower nature kind of indirectly, like subconsciously, like, it's like it's the that like I kind of be. So even though I could be consciously, wanting to accept my lower nature, I gotta program my subconscious to, really accept it. You know what I'm saying? Because if my subconscious still on some shit where like I don't know, man, it may sabotage our, but then it may like say it may sabotage our spiritual growth. And which of course I keep it real though. I do see the essences of where, again, if you're not aware, being too in your in that grounded state, you could be thrown off, but then at the same time you could be thrown off of your growth being too high in the higher chakras, because then you could just be so everywhere to where you're not grounded enough to really even make nothing happen. So you basically useless in that essence too, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you just again, you realize, you just balance, find your little area, like it's and in essence too, is no perfect way for us to go through our growths, you know what I'm saying? Like that's another thing. We got the spiritual, dogmatic spiritual teachings of things supposed to have such a perfect look to it, you know, and because you hear it in these guided meditation voices, and you think that the whole spiritual experience should be like a guided meditation, talking like this, and that things should never go wrong, that you should be able to experience things in a voice like this all the time. It's like, nah. It's more to it than that, you know. Om Gam Ganapataye. Yes, that's another good one. hmm Oh, matter of fact, as I'm in Louisiana, y'all hear that rain coming in. Getting back used to that. But yeah, it's it's balancing the whole situation out, and that's what I realized, catching the urge, like when I got out here, eating certain foods that I don't consider the extreme health standard, but it's like, and two, like grounding me in my environment, like, hey, uh, because when you try to hold extremely high vibration, say for instance, you know, around like a environment that that's, say for instance, Louisiana, they don't, I mean, in this area at least, no yoga studios, no vegan spots, no none of this. So the general area is not gonna be, you know, how can I say, to that essence, and vibing to that essence, to the context of the information, like, because people do naturally vibe in a godly manner even through ignorance out here, but you know uh for the most part it lacks a certain knowledge of this area. And I forgot what I was gonna say with that part, but oh, matter of fact, excuse me for a second, y'all. Excuse me 1 second. All right, I'm back. See, another part to fully accepting all that is being authentic. Like, I had to step away. I had to use the bathroom right quick, man. I've been detoxing. Had to use the restroom. But yeah, yeah. Matter of fact, thank you. Love and elevation. Eating was necessary for your environment. You know, the whole thing with the body, like it like a vibration, an alien vibration. You know, it comes to a certain planet that needs a certain bodysuit. As a matter of fact, go look at my video. I did a video a while back. Like I think it may have zombies in the title of it, but like how like I used the analogy of like how you might have to sometimes like like say in the zombie apocalypse movies where the zombies eating everything that's living, but say for instance somebody have to go and get some type of food from somewhere, so they got to go out into the zombies. So in order to finesse that situation, they take like some of the zombie, like another zombie laying down, and take some of his skin and all that blood and dead stuff and rub on them, so they could seem like a zombie too, so they don't get under attack. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing, like, and not seeming like a zombie to an extent of keeping your vibration in an uncomfortably low place, but again, like your environment around you, you gotta be able to maneuver and deal. You know what I'm saying? Because if I was trying to maintain such a high vibration, which I might have to move in a second, y'all give me a second. The rain whipping under here. Anyway, but back to the whole situation. Ground and eating necessary foods. Matter of fact, like I forgot what I ate. Like, but sauteing some little peppers and doing me like little salads like that. And plus, since I got out here, and that's how like dealing with being sensitive to energy. Being out here, like I instantly just had that urge to want to eat more. You know what I'm saying? I just want to eat more since I'm out here. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm aware that that's the environment. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm Louisiana. Not only do they eat meat and stuff heavy out here, but just eating in general. You know what I'm saying? Like so, and you start to feel that from the collective. But again, I know that I am source and I'm always connected to source. And if I'm in this situation, then it gotta be for growth. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not no it's not no situation that you're gonna be put in essence, it's not gonna provide some type of growth. Even matter of fact, even when being led by the egoic mind in some cases, the egoic mind will create some contrast that's gonna, help you indirectly too. So, regardless, in essence. And also, just matter of fact, and to touch on the subject of speaking about death, you know what I'm saying, quote unquote debt, because there's no such thing as debt, you know what I'm saying. Matter of fact, because I having to tell people, in my family, like with graveyards and stuff like that. So matter of fact, I like my egoic mind or what I was taught. So say finna show you how your brain works and what you was taught and what you feel. Like the mind of me that was taught that, hey, there's a funeral, you gotta go to the funeral, get ready to go to the funeral, and when that time came, I found myself like, I was working on a few orders and, telling myself, oh yeah, I'ma soon get dressed, and then next thing you know, time passed and like I'm not getting up to go to the funeral. And I caught the download like well, it wasn't meant for me to go because the energy was gonna be too overwhelming on the on the negative side, as far as like people just sobbing and crying, and it had just been difficult for me to be that light in that situation. And also because I have an understanding where I know my auntie wasn't in that casket. Like my auntie been out of that body since since the heart stopped. You know what I'm saying? So I know my auntie been left that body that that again that they put in the ground and like, oh, this is my auntie. Of course we taught this vibe and all this, but that is just a vehicle. That's like somebody getting in a bad car wreck, but they get out of the car and then we go to the junkyard, and and we just crying about the car and just crying about the car, like the car going back to the earth, like how going to scrap into another car, or whatever. Like the person's still here, that person's still there with you. Same thing with the energy of somebody passing away. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the European culture that created graveyards. We didn't create graveyards. Graveyards come from necromancy. Matter of fact, you want to talk about necro dealing with death. And then you think about the Necronomicon, like with H.P. Lovecraft, necromancy, in essence. Or necro, what it is, necro something, like people who, like are sexually attracted to dead bodies or dead, like, what I'm saying? Like, that's that vibe. But, like, with having a grave site, if I could connect with my ancestors no matter where I'm at, what is the point of a grave site? You know what I'm saying? Like that was again, that's created by our from the European aspect of culture. And not saying there's no right or wrong in essence either, but I am saying that because to each his own on how they feel about, but the true essence of it is where you giving away your power and you just creating stress. I mean, of course, nobody needs stress, but I mean, like there is sometimes healthy stress in essence, but it's most stress is stress that's unneeded. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why stress yourself out thinking that your family member is really in the ground or really dead and gone forever when you could really know, like, all right, nah, it's just their bodysuit and that. Like I could always tap into connecting with my, with my family member, no matter where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? No matter what the situation is. You know. And matter of fact, like that's the whole reason why I didn't. I found myself wanting to go, but my higher self just, was like, nah, stay here. And I got to see that play out. Like what my egoic mind of what I was taught was like, all right, we gotta get to the funeral. But that new understanding of things was like, bro, don't have to go nowhere. Matter of fact, just be there for your family and be that light, when they get, as they come back or whatever, and things a little lighter, you could be, your energy is much stronger and more beneficial in that setting. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, instead of being at the church and at the funeral with all that, and that's another thing too, because I don't deal with the church, and that's one situation for me with that, being respectful about that. And when I say being respectful, honestly, I don't have to respect that shit. I'm gonna be real with you, like because I know how it's brainwashing people. But at the same time, you know, more of a reverence and a respect for just family with those old traditions. Because as much as I am here to help them grow away from that and break that down, it's not no combatant way of like creating tension. You know what I'm saying? Because I already thought I had a vision of walking in church with my hat, my Papa Legba hat, and my little vibe. And that's another thing too. Staying optimistic. I be looking for the best, like nobody gonna mess with me. But then that vibe just kept coming through, like somebody country ass gonna tell you take off that hat in church or this and that, and wasn't gonna. I was gonna look at them like they crazy, and all of a sudden the storyline with the old country storyline, Corey, where's hat in church? It's like so I just like I ain't even gonna go, just not add to some type of situation that would just make things something else to talk about instead of like celebrating the life of my auntie. It would just create, and again, it wouldn't be me creating the situation, but because I know the whole situation, it was like, all right, if I do it, I'm kind of doing it knowing what I would be creating. So I just fell back on the situation because I know that to a certain extent some ignorance is gonna create some type of situation with me. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just fall back on that. Yeah, the funeral aspect, like an aspect. And again, not to clown, but then you start to see how what we just got to tend to our indigenous things and what we taught, because in essence, you know, they deal with that vibe of the grave sites and stuff like that because of a lack of connection. When you're not connected, you know, you can't hear the voice of auntie that just transition, or off of Paul or so and so. You can't, it's hard for you to tap into that energy, so you feel that you got to hold on to the body and have a grave site. You know what I'm saying? Basically, indirectly mimicking or altering that vibe, but again, from a physical worshiping that type of aspect, where the body contact this energy, and it really does. And again, that's not me trying to, because that's another thing. Facts. Not trying to clown nobody's culture or whatever, but at the same time, don't care if nobody do feel played or mad, because it's just facts, reality. I should say, yeah. I started using reality, not the truth, because the Catholic Church almost turned a lie into a truth. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to talk more about it. Say it's reality. Yes, I do fast. Like and indirectly, just my eating habits in essence is fasting, because I'm almost like, I eat one meal a day, or if I eat a lot, one go 2 days without eating, or a day without eating, and then the next day I only eat once. You know what I'm saying? Like, I definitely stay in a place with my energy. Even down to where like I've been eating, certain little foods, since I've been out here, but I also been on my detox tea. So just as quick as I, eating something, it's coming right out. Moving right on out. And again, just a generalize, the spiritual growth. It's okay. With me, matter of fact, coming back home, at my mom's crib, I could have that egoic vibe of like, matter of fact, ego has a certain identity, which said, oh, if you go back home with your mama, then automatically this is the identity. It's like, nah, that's your ego mind trying to create. It's like, nah, you just taking a step back, 2 steps back to take a leap forward. You know what I'm saying? Like getting a little foundation in order to grow. Matter of fact, shout out to Preston Smiles for having a video speaking on that. Like where, he spoke on where at 33, he had to move back in with his mom, and his business had already launched and started, but he had to go, come back for a little second just to come out, swinging even harder in that sense. So nothing wrong with those little situations. Matter of fact, just like boxing, like well in boxing, sometimes you gotta take a bunch of punches or one strong punch to deliver your little strong punch. You know what I'm saying? Like that quote unquote winning punch, and winning for lack of a better word, 'cause there's no winning or losing. But that punch that really benefits and helps you to get to that next step in that sense. But sometimes you again like the terminology, roll with the punches. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta take them. You gotta take some punches in order to dish out a good one. You know what I'm saying? So that's the essence of that situation as well. And that's why too is important for us to share our stories. I could sit here and be lying, like, or being scared, like, well, yeah, I ain't in my mama's house, so let me not do a video over here because I don't want nobody to see and this and that, and not telling the truth. But where if I was to tell the truth and let people know what's really going on, it would, it would create a situation for a person to learn from. That's why, again, with comedians and certain entertainers who have music where they talk about subjects that, it's like, damn, they talking about subject matter, like, well, I'm always thinking about this, but nobody else be talking about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why it's good to, to share on that level. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the type of information that helps change people. You know what I'm saying? That little information that's unique to your experience, or and that may be something that society considers embarrassing, but by you being courageous and sharing what's going on, you you help somebody else spiritually, without even knowing it, just by being yourself. That's when you start to see, just by being yourself, by being authentic and being uniquely yourself, you help others just indirectly, you know what I'm saying, by just being, true to your own energy. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole vibe. But again, we're dealing with funerals, the bodysuit, just transition, and deal with it the best you can. So say for instance, a lot of people was coming to me, and still having that mind frame of like, like they might have really laid somebody to rest. So you want to talk to people and meet them halfway, like, oh yeah, well, you kind of let them be themselves in whatever they believe in, and then you kind of, without trying to create confrontation, you sprinkle a little bit of sauce on them, a little bit of that true knowledge of like, well, yeah, and two, we transitioning how these bodies, you know what I'm saying? Like, some type of little lightweight to, inform your family members on, how this energy really moves, in essence. 'Cause that again, that's what we here for. We, of course, we just, of course, you're here to just experience, and experience life. But again, there's certain things lined up within our experience for us to grow through and deal with and stuff like that. And it may be in these certain areas, So it's another reason why, speaking on dealing with that situation. And one thing I learned on my trip too, how to really be fully grounded and forgetting that, like, well, again, that dogmatic approach of like, like spirituality should be, quiet, and you should always talk nice and never curse, and, namaste and this and that. Like, nah, fuck that. You could curse sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the whole thing. Like, that whole idea of spirituality being like that came in these, with the new age in essence, you know what I'm saying? It's not the way we always dealt with it. And of course, say for instance, you don't always do so, say for, because look at what we talk about now, like, well, we don't always do things the way we were taught by our parents. But with a lot of indigenous, with a lot of ways that our indigenous ancestors carried themselves, it's some things for us to get rid of. Like, well, say for instance, even in Lemuria, like, well, we think of Kemet and Lemuria and how great the civilization was, and there's certain things we want to borrow from that, but not forgetting, like, it's, how I say, polarizing just to all situations. Kemet and Lemuria got some energy and some knowledge that may benefit us, but it got some knowledge and energy that may also hinder us. Because again, for whatever it's worth, of course, it was a great, Kemet and all that had the energy, but they're also not around for a reason as well. You know what I'm saying? So they, it's some things that they ain't do all the way, quote unquote correct, or in a certain manner either. So of course we use ancient indigenous knowledge, but it's the one, that is the knowledge and information that really works right now in essence, because some stuff, doesn't work anymore. Because we think just because it's, again, because it comes from Kemet, like that the information, like, because it's all the indigenous and they had everything, like, nah, some of this stuff could be outdated too. We constantly growing, constantly learning. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody right now is the Emotep of this era, you know what I'm saying? Or that energy reincarnated that's gonna come out, and share a bunch of, we say new stuff, but new stuff to us right now, you know what I'm saying? So that may not be the same knowledge from what they had in Kemet, you know what I'm saying? But that's the whole situation. Like, as I spark up this, I'm about to answer some other questions a little more. Yeah, I had to catch myself because I was really like just basically scared of my lower self, scared of my lower nature. But it was more so because it was my egotistical spiritual self, like, so my spirit, how the ego could hide, the ego is mine, hiding in spirituality. And that vibe was like, I want to be super spiritual. Because in my mind, I'm like, I've been in my lower nature all my life, in essence, I done perfected being in my root chakra, that's the way I looked at it too. I'm like, shit, I done perfected being sexual and confident, you know what I'm saying, emotional, like, I done did all the human shit already. I'm looking for the crown chakra, the stuff that I ain't used to dealing with. But not realizing that I still had to maintain that connection to the lower chakras, while working with those higher chakras. When I just kind of bungee jumped into the higher chakras and left the lower chakras behind, and then I had to realize, like, no, it's a full, if you look at a tree not standing without roots, the tree is touching the ground, you know what I'm saying? So no matter how high I get, no matter how high a mountain is, it's still touching the ground as well, you know what I'm saying? the whole vibe, being fully, fully in your being, you know, fully balanced. Yeah, blessings, y'all. I'm trying to balance myself too, and like getting out the information I want to share, and then looking at the comments and and the questions, because I catch myself just like scrolling through, and I have to look at it from the aspect like if I was watching this video, like damn, I would, like I would feel like damn, I vibe with the video, but I dislike when he kind of spend all that time reading, you know what I'm saying, or talking outside of the subject matter. So do my best, go with the flow. Do you like Osho? Oh man, Osho is like one of the, like he's a, like because we all come from different regions, we're gonna carry a basic, a certain blueprint from what region we come from. Matter of fact, because again, root chakra, it's like a tree. Roots, like what kind of tree you are, so in essence, your body suit, or your roots come from a certain area. So like when I think about Osho, where he kind of got more of the, that heavy Hindu vibe in essence, but his overall ideals and stuff on spirituality is like, like that true bodhisattva, shamanic vibe of like that middle place, and knowing that like it's okay to joke. It's okay, because matter of fact, I had a Zen book where at the end of the Zen book it had like vulgar joke, like like joke, like sexual jokes in essence, to show you, like it's all right to have a laugh and stuff like that. And that's another thing what I had, again, programming my subconscious to realize this, trying to show my subconscious like, hey, it's okay to be fully grounded and fully rooted, because I'm still like honestly, catching a vibe like where I'm kind of like sticking my toe into my roots, but kind of like not really getting all the way there. It's like, nah, I get fully into it, you know what I'm saying? Part of me getting into the Papa Legba vibe, and wearing the black and red, and because that energy kind of has to deal with that as well. Oh, went out. Yeah. Yeah, this rain is beautiful. See, back to the Louisiana vibes, like it naturally, indirectly, provides the environment, that's very natural, like it's, all the green, like all these trees around me, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like, matter of fact, being Louisiana, a place like where I'm from, Opelousas, it's almost like this is a forest that somebody decided to put trees in. I mean, this is a forest that somebody decided to put houses inside or something, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how the essence of things feel. And then you hear the noise of the thunder, which that, that creates the negative ions and stuff like that. So that's why I realized after a nice little storm, back in the day, even the most, gangsterous and most negative people, or people that just always be trying to be into some shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, will have like a calm vibe. Like, it's just a real chill vibe after, a lightning or thunderstorm, so to speak. So, yeah. Oh yeah, man, I'm just going, man. What's happening, Mr. West? Blessings to you. Yeah, Osho, yeah. Wild Wild Country or whatever. Yeah, I watched that. Man, that again, you know what I'm saying, and showing like we all got a dark and light side. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't nobody. That's the whole situation, which everybody's still kind of thinking we about to be, in essence, acting like holier than thou, like all like, nah, it's like balanced in the fullness of our being, you know what I'm saying? It's just raising to the fifth dimension, and the fifth dimension vibrates at a higher frequency. But that doesn't mean we're, going to a high vibration of turning, like vibration turning so high that in the next few years, we gonna be back one with source, and that, like whether, like, nah, it's just bringing a certain dimensional change, paradigm shift on the earthly plane. And some of us starting to realize our true self, and got and got the knowledge to know, like, all right, I could stay here, like knowing that you're reincarnating, like, all right, I could go to another, go to another level and not come back to earth, or I could choose to come back to earth, which I'm balanced on that vibe. I see how you could want to be here and not want to be here, you know what I'm saying? Because again, people don't realize, like, the lack of boundaries outside your body. Like, when you're outside your body, like, it's real, it's a little more chaotic. you know. Again, shout out to DMT for letting me experience that firsthand, and seeing, like, how chaotic it could be without a body. You know. And again, when you don't have a firsthand experience of that, it's just a book saying, yes, it was chaos before and it's chaotic outside of your body. But I mean, just reading that statement is not going to allow for you to fully grasp what it means to feel like outside of your body. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's another thing. Again, why you see our indigenous peoples, still dealing with ayahuasca and DMT. Again, I told somebody that out here, I'm like, bro, to show you how ridiculous the government is, I'm like, our pineal glands all secrete DMT. And I was like, of course, that's only if it's open, like if it's not calcified. But, our pineals all secrete DMT, and it's released during near-death experiences, and during death and lucid dreaming. But long story short, I was like, we all like, it's considered a illegal substance. So I'm like, basically everybody is walking illegal substances. You know what I'm saying? Like, right now, so everybody is illegal right now, in essence. Kind of showing you, like, bruh, from you being a stock in bondage to them trying to make your DMT legal, when would it ever, dawn upon everybody that, they're just not really trying to help, you know? They want you to wear your seatbelt in your car, like they care about your safety that much, but then they feed you bullshit to kill you in pills, like, it's getting more and more obvious, It's, it's all good. Yep. Evil, quote unquote, evil and good. Both sides to the coin. If our boo boo didn't stink, when you smell roses, it wouldn't smell so good. You know what I'm saying? Like, if everything was the same, it wouldn't be no difference between anything in our experience. It'd just be a bland experience. Just like blah. You know what I'm saying? Everybody would probably meet the same word, meat. I always use that example, meat. Like, or we just all walk around with blank stares, like no words. Probably wouldn't even have faces on the either, just like blank, just perfect. And I'm a Capricorn, so a little bit of that on the tarot card, that devil, Saturn. So, our energy is, that's why one of my DMT trips, I felt like I was the devil, because, in essence, as above, so below, in some way, form, or fashion, Capricorns are extension of that Lucifer energy, you know. Know what stars you're coming from. That's what, the gods, that rule over us, let us create man in our image, That's in the Bible. Let us create man in our image. And, here it is where they always talk about God being this one person, but it's like plural, in Genesis, in the beginning of the Bible, letting you know the genealogy of Isis, Genesis. Genesis. But yeah. Peace and blessings, Shakira. Yeah, and blessings to all y'all. Matter of fact, because I know I didn't necessarily give a shout out to each and every one of y'all, but y'all know that's kind of, you know, difficult to do that and do the video. Yes, Michael Delane, you will receive or be given information that you need, but again, you gotta you gotta learn how to like stay away from your egoic mind. So meditating and allow for that pathway from higher self to be clear. 'Cause, you know, reason why we feel like we can't do that is because we got our little thoughts and egoic mind constantly chattering and throwing us off. So we feel like, oh well, no. Whenever I go to counsel myself, you know, sometimes that seems like, you know, a reason why it seemed like you probably could give yourself a wrong answer because it's not, you're not dealing with just your, or I ain't gonna say, well, in essence, you're not dealing with your higher self almost at all. In essence, like it's just a bunch of you little egoic mind thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Just rapidly creating little fearful situations, false evidence appearing real. So I had to talking to you know, one of my relatives about, you know, like how they kept talking about a situation. I'm like, you know, when you really look at it, you just in your mind creating the situation. You know, like you either too far in the future. You know, like, and not no pun intended to go to the intro, but like, you know, you're too far in the future, like worried about, you know, thinking about like, well, how I'm gonna do this. How, like, say for instance, an example of that, like starting my YouTube channel and my bracelets and dealing with my bracelets and stuff like that. Being too far in the future, I'd have been like, well, you know, damn, how I'm gonna get a laptop? Like thinking about this situation, the overwhelmingly, like how I'm gonna do all of it at once in the future. Like, you know, how I'm gonna get a laptop? You know, where I'm gonna get this and where I get beads from and this and that. Instead of like being in the moment and be like, well, what's the, you know, what's the best and only, you know, the only or best step to take in this moment. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know, look around me. All right, probably get some beads. You know, like bam. You know what I'm saying? And moving step by step in the moment instead of looking at the bulk of it in the future. Like, you're like you're panicking. The reason why you panic about that, like the reason why you panic about focusing in the future, because you can't fix some shit that ain't here. You know what I'm saying? It's fake. It don't even exist, and that's why you catch the extreme anxiety about it. It's because you're thinking about it, and the body, your subconscious of your body don't know that you're just thinking about some shit. It's just like you occupying that thought, so the body like, wait, the fuck is going on right? Like you know, we gotta get all this shit together right now. So you get nervous, and it's something that you know you can't fix in the moment because it's a thought. You know, that's why you can't fix it because it's in your mind. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with being too far in the past and whether you're reminiscing too hard or too long, you go to kind of, you know, getting sad or, you know, thinking about a situation that no longer serve you too long, you know, and it kind of keeps you in that vibration, you know. But that's the, excuse me, that's the whole situation. New age. We studied P. Randolph. P.B. Randolph. Wait, that's not the brethren who wrote Cyclomancy, huh? Got the brethren who wrote Cyclomancy. But I'm familiar with Blavatsky. I mean, matter of fact, because I want to do a video soon, just naming all the whole little clique. I call it a little clique. Kenneth Grant, Dion Fortune, Ephesius Levi, you know, who are this? Rudolph Steiner. That's Gerald Massey and Rudolph Steiner. Like, matter of fact, and these names I'm saying, y'all go look them up and read books from Aleister Crowley, Lon Milo Duquette. Who else? Manly P. Hall. You know, shit. You know, everybody should know Carl Jung. H.P. Lovecraft. He flew into that. I'm pretty sure I said Aleister Crowley. That's all, you know what I'm saying? H.P. Blavatsky, you know. All those little peoples. They all move. Matter of fact, look, and this a cold book. I'm using it as a little stand, but now I gotta, hold on, matter of fact, let me see if I can fix the view back up. But this a book I just got this, just slamming with the information. Esoteric Hollywood, man, like by what Jay Dyer, with like all them names, I'm just like just to show you. So drop a little sauce and science. Even talk about how the CIA in Hollywood and stuff like that. The MK Ultra vibes, and how when they send like people like Britney Spears and some people to rehab, like that whole vibe. Yeah. Uh, oh yeah. And what's tight is reading this book, you get to see like these different, directors and stuff like that, you know, what they got like occultists that they really, studied and like, and vendor, with the evil forces books, that's another one, you know. But they all, you know what I'm saying, kind of got that little same background. What's his brother named Kubrick? He's a little director who did The Shining and Eyes Wide Shut. With Eyes Wide Shut was kind of like a straight up showing of like that little Illuminati ball type of thing. And you are Illuminati if you are illuminated. We just use that word for lack of a better word, but I'm the Illuminati. God damn it! Don't damn God, but you know what I mean. And you see, that's the thing too. Like, oh, don't say that word. It's like, oh, like I just got back. All right, I retract that. And I say like, you could retract words in the essence, but I mean to a certain extent, where you a God in the essence of it's how much a word means to you in essence, or a symbol means to you. What's his name? Huxley, Aldous Huxley. That's another one. ALDOUSHUXLEY. He's another one. The little information. But yeah, it's definitely a good little read. Can't forget about old Albert Pike, the Freemason daddy. Let me quit. Let me quit picking with the Freemason. See, I keep it real right there. That was a little joking, little ego joke. I digress. Yeah. Are there infinite dimensions other than the? Yes, my brother. This is matter of fact, look at what you said. Are there infinite dimensions other than the fourth? And not to put on blast, but like it's kind of like a contradictory statement. You know what I'm saying? In the essence of like there's infinite dimensions, so it's past numbers. You know, 19th, 12th, 100, a million dimension. All the way to infinity in essence. There's no beginning or end. Like, and what's funny, we say this, and I know when I say a lot of things that's like the super deep stuff that your mind, or you're just not there yet in spirit. Like, but there's no beginning or end. Our little monkey minds try to create this beginning or end just to have some type of grasp on our existence. you know. Like really, that's really what that all of this with I'm in the physical and time and all that, you know what I'm saying? And time and matter of fact and Chronos eating his children, the Titan Chronos, you know, they got beat up by Zeus, his son, which in essence is like Lucifer against Jesus, like Chronos is like the Lucifer, like Zeus is like Jesus, or the son, because Zeus is the son of, and the devil did come first before Christ, that which they are one and the same, though, you know what I'm saying? Like that whole little tie in right there, you know. Zeus, which in essence Hercules kind of falls into the Christ energy too. So, talking about DBZ. Yep, DBZ. The 7 Dragon Balls is the 7 chakras. Align them all up. You know what I'm saying? And you get the dragon or the kundalini that rise up. And when your kundalini rise, you're able to manifest things in a manner like you're making wishes. Why they got, when they raise the Shenron dragon, when they align the 7 Dragon Balls, they get their little wishes. Resurrecting people from the dead. The deepness of that, because when your third eye open, your kundalini raised, you could contact ancestors. It's like raising people from the dead. You know what I'm saying? Like I always bring Goku back. The little sauce they would be dripping on it. You know what I'm saying? And the subconscious understands symbols. The English language did not exist. Matter of fact, language did not exist before, in our primordial essence of our being, that like language and even speaking didn't come till later. Like speaking is a lower vibrational form of existence, you know what I'm saying? Like we was just on the vibrations, like we didn't even have to say nothing. But yeah, Kyle, that's some good herb. Or Orionate. Blessings, blessings. Appreciate the love and support. Matter of fact, y'all, to just make sure I recover, the essence of where we started. Again, on an energetic update. Right now we're being called to bring ourselves to completion in that sense. And again, we always growing, so it's not it's a certain cycle may complete, but then that's a cycle within a cycle and a cycle within a cycle. You ever seen like that clock that exists within the clock, or that wheel or gear that exists inside a wheel or gear that exists inside another wheel or gear, like it just keep on going forever and ever. That's like the whole vibe. But that's it. As a matter of fact, to make sure, let's see. Yeah, just make sure. I'm doing a video.
Okay. Where your mom in here?
She know. Live. And just making sure we complete, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, let me put my little stand back up. Making sure we kind of fully, align with places we may be, areas that we running from, that we need growth in. That's kind of the whole thing. And that Virgo, that new moon in Virgo, because that new moon, like new beginnings, set new intentions, and dealing with organizing energy, and matter of fact, earthy grounding energy as well. So in and out, again, for a lot of us, it may be in essence root chakra work. Because again, like my other video, where I see a lot of people having to make these trips back home or whatever. And of course, I know like what I'm seeing through my perception. I'm seeing reflections of myself. That's another thing to remember too. But then I know how big the tribe is in essence, and I know though that at the end of the day, you know, like some things is kind of like, of course, what I'm dealing with, seeing in essence like reflections. and being synchronized with that, but also just a synchronicity of an energy that's just moving about in general, because again, how I kind of knew it was just a general energy because like of the people I had heard, passing away back home even before this, this funeral I'm coming to right now. Which is not a, I don't know. I gotta look up the etymology of funeral because it just sound bad too. It's like that ain't no funeral. It's a celebration of life. You know, that's what it's all about. Matter of fact, and I want to say this: a lot of us is gonna be possibly tested in the area of dealing with addictions and you know like it may seem like you're going backwards or something like that, but again, we going through certain shadow situations, and again, for a lot of us, it may be like root situations, in which again, addictions, not only addictions, of course, come from the root chakra area, but that's more so on a physical level, because one of the aspects of having an overblown third eye or crown chakra is being addicted to meditation. So you also see how again, it's you know as above so below literally. You know what I'm saying? Like what go, like how you got a genitals down here, you also got a genitals up here. Your pineal pituitary. Kind of almost like a vagina and a phallus. A yana and a phallus in essence. Same vibe. So yeah, we may be brought through these old energies, these uh these energies where it's like, damn, I'm doing some old shit. It's like it's just bringing forth, showing you like, and in some cases, some things, again, of course, you loving all aspects of yourself. Because if you ever dealing with, again, some type of person outside yourself that you feel like you don't like, or you can't stand them, or don't want to deal with them, this and that, that because it's the universe then projected it outside of you, or your higher self, and projected outside of you because you've been running away from it inside of you, or you for some reason you don't see it inside of yourself of how, you disliking and not loving that aspect of yourself, so it's projected outside of you, to kind of, man, that's all right. I see. So you can know and love that aspect, and as soon as you love that aspect, you won't see that person or that type of person, no more in your face, or at least if that type of person around you won't feel bothered by it, because again, you love, because again, I forgot how that quote go, but there's like as long as Matthew Crockett who brought it up to my attention. It's like and I'm just kind of gonna be paraphrased a little bit, but like how hippies creates, the police with the dogs and the military, vibes, like and what it means by that, like for a hippie feeling like he going against something, like I gotta pick it and go against something, you know what I'm saying? Then you creating something to go against, you know what I'm saying? Compared to like having like a certain level of love, you know what I'm saying? Where you're not creating an aspect to go against like a combatant aspect of yourself, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like a racist person create a racist person, you know, because they feel like something is happening. Oh man, the white man got me down. Then yeah, you creating that in your situation. Like that's why Morgan Freeman said that about like, oh, I never experienced it. And since he was around it, but he like I didn't let that affect. I didn't pay attention to that. I chose to doing dealing with what I was dealing with. You know, and again, that's all everybody. Choice, and we all got different, unique journeys. Nevac 11 appreciate that definitely. All right, ooh, that's a good question. But as I see that, how do you use symbols to communicate to the subconscious mind? Do you create your own symbols? You got symbols like and that helps kind of in essence open up the pineal gland and kind of like I want to say opens up the subconscious mind in essence from what I learned and from me dealing with it, like lack of a better word, I want to say, kind of opens or creates a certain alignment with the pineal gland a lot to allow things to like manifest at a certain pace. Like I always look at the Sri Yantra at the beginning of my day, and it just kind of creates a certain. Again, it's like matter of fact, I got like 2 or 3 videos on sigils. 'Cause I don't want to go too deep into it, but like creating your own sigils. So yeah, you could also program your subconscious mind with a sigil. So a sigil could be like a paragraph, of information. Like take certain letters from that paragraph and create symbol, and that one symbol, goes for that whole, and you kind of program your subconscious with it. And again, check out a video you know, to that. By you, Yama, appreciate that. Blessings. Trying to read, make sure but yeah. And as always, a matter of fact, y'all are, attending, and man, let me know, if I may be drifting off too much, or that's another reason kind of why I go live in essence. Which I know near and everybody. But, I know there's honest folk, some honest reflections out there, like the honest, you know, uh, reflection that I am. Appreciate the donations, y'all. Yeah, that pretty much and again we're doing a lot of these things like for myself. So say for instance, like joking, I talked about joking earlier, like being out here and joking about certain things that in a dark way may have frowned upon it. Like right, I like Zen, because Zen in essence has its dogmatisms, but then in essence don't. Like it, like Zen is almost paradoxical, like the universe in essence. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't know. It just has a certain little paradox flow to it. Some Zen masters are kind of dogmatic to their approach. Some Zen masters kind of like how I say, not so dogmatic and just preach to kind of have your own. Really, that you don't even need no guru, and that'd be the whole. Going through certain situations and like certain jokes, people laughing and clowning about certain, again from that dogmatic spiritual approach, which realizing like that egoic spiritual mind, you know what I'm saying? Like I would hear the joke and feel it. I'm like, all right, wouldn't feel no kind of way, you know what I'm saying? Realizing again how to follow my heart, like to follow that intuitive vibe, you know what I'm saying, of what I'm feeling. And and it's like, all right, I ain't feeling no kind of way. Like that would just be me being all trying to hold like in my mind with this idea or identity of what should be spiritual, and it should be like crown chakra, like nothing like it shouldn't do that. Like it should be like always meditating and and always what I'm saying. And it's like no, like is to each his own on how they balance their energy, where they rock with with the way they carry themselves. For instance, again, like I do all it, like how I vibe this weekend with family, but guess what I was doing? Shit, if not for like a little extra making sure I look, you know. I'm in a whole different environment as well. So making sure my energy, maintains in essence. So like I'm still making sure I meditate and do this, but at the same time, still clowning, still vibing, and sticking and moving. You know what I'm saying? Because of course, if is that that a clash, or whatever the case may be, and say clash for lack of a better word. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause and two, I learned a lot about like accepting reflections, cause one thing when we get information and we think we know everything, we go around and like, oh, this and that, cause one thing, of course, like, cause I always just feel the vibe of, you know, like speaking out on the Jesus vibe again. When high self tap me on the shoulder, then like, all right, don't sit through the ignorance completely. You know what I'm saying? Like, like say a little. A lot of times, but anyway, back to the main thing. Like finding acceptance with with people and they walks, like wherever they at. You know what I'm saying? Like accepting where they at, and not feeling like I gotta combat against them in like information. Of course, letting them know like, oh, well, I meditate and do things this way, but look, much love to however you carry yourself on your walk. That's all. Again, because what you displaying is a love for your, indirectly, because ye are God's children of the Most High. You are a different vantage point of God, for lack of a better word, or a different, perspective point from loving yourself, through that, by showing that acceptance towards that reflection, you know, that's like, loving yourself. Now, again, though, as above, so below, I don't accept no lies within myself, you know, like I don't, what goes on inside of me is about keeping it real with myself, you know what I'm saying? So outside of me, that trickles outside of me. So like again, back to the fake Jesus stuff, you know what I'm saying? A lot of that stuff is not keeping it real, you know what I'm saying? So that's why it may fall into, us, you know, sharing, not combating because you don't want to be, and to each his own because some of us slip up, where we at on our growth. We're dealing with that energy as far as like, sharing certain truths when you're around a certain level of, ignorance, for lack of a better word, and I forgot where I was going with that. See, and that's the zapping. It's not the herb, it's the smoke. Always remember that. That should be a core. It's not the herb, it's the smoke. See, that's a good time to go to looking at looking at questions. All right, I see y'all getting down, but yep. Letters are symbols in essence, but it's about like drawing, symbols. Matter of fact, let's see, right quick. I want more unity within myself. I feel unity with the whole universe. So I write out, we are one. And I'm trying to program my subconscious to feel unity with the whole, everything. So sometimes you just take out each what you call it, each vowel. So I take out or any each vowel or any letter that shows up more than once. Some people do it like that. First and foremost, any letter that shows up more than once. So like, again, I did a quick one right quick. So the E show up more than once, and then basically every other one. So you got A, and I'm even leave the vowels in there. But that's the letters you have, and then you create a symbol with that letter, with those letters. So this is a sigil. Took this statement, got broke it down to these letters, and broke it down to this symbol. You draw the symbol however you want. Be creative. But you got the W, the O, an N somewhere in there, R, or A, all built into the. As a matter of fact, if you want to get nice with it, go look up the gematria, go look up the number values, of certain letters, and if you want a certain, number energy into your sigil as well, you make sure the letters line up with that as well, to get that's what getting deeper into the magic is about, like taking all the accumulated knowledge and piling it together. That's why I like most occult things, and that's why we was taught everything like together in essence. But that's basically it. All right, Karina King, blessings. Good to have you in, even though I'm maybe soon leaving out. Yeah. Cool runnings, y'all. I appreciate the love and support. Matter of fact, appreciate the donations. Matter of fact, uh, with the donations again, and look, uh, not being ungrateful about the donations that I already have, because that still is gonna turn into some kind of revenue. But just to raise awareness that I would rather donations go to my PayPal link, because when they do them through this super chat probably take most of the money, you know. In which again, I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason. It wouldn't have, it wouldn't have went down like how it went down if it wasn't meant to go down like that. But just sharing, for future situations, In fact, sharing in the now for the future. you know, doing the PayPal donation links underneath mostly all of my videos, and I also had the PayPal donation link. If you're on the desktop version of YouTube, that's like in the top. When you're looking at your computer, so top right corner, if you're looking at your computer screen, they have like the little Instagram links, and then you see the PayPal link. Of course, if you like the video, of course, like it. If you feel like you know somebody who would vibe to this information, feel free to share videos, Uh, again, any and all donations greatly appreciated. Thank y'all for y'all love and support, regardless, and just for viewing. Shout out to the domestic audience. Shout out to the international audience. And matter of fact, that's me being in that vibe of like like a radio, like a radio host vibe. Shout out, so shout out to the domestic family. Shout out to the international family. You know, uh, and that's basically it. You know what I'm saying? Hope y'all gathered some type of information that you could use in some way, form, or fashion from this video. again, that's about it. All right, right quick, keeper of the flame, cause that's a little quick, decent little, decent little question. Favorite crystals? I could put Moldavite up there, yeah, Moldavite, but really and truthfully, I put Moldavite fourth, cause just really and truthfully, man, Black Obsidian, Lapis Lazuli, and Malachite, like those three. That's like my just that's the terror squad right there. Like those are the guys. That's my guys. You know, that's the homies. Which Malachite could be the sister. Malachite, yeah, Malachite does have more of a feminine vibe in essence. But yeah, I would say those three crystals. All right, amethyst, honestly, all right. Yep, y'all drop y'all favorite ones. Everybody could learn. Again, we reflections, iron sharpen iron. But yeah, and if anyone that resonated with me the most, hmm, I don't know, since in any way, form, or fashion, I always try to make sure I have lapis lazuli. Then I would probably say lapis lazuli. Oh, lapis is one of my favorites. Indirectly, I got lapis lazuli right here. All right, see now y'all got me making this video longer. This is lapis lazuli indirectly. This is sodalite and pyrite. You know. So basically, lapis is like sodalite with pyrite specks, which I think I don't know if it's potassium or something that it has a little more of. Like lapis has a little more of than sodalite, but that's basically what that is. Same thing. Yeah. All right, huh? That yellow J. Yellow J got a soft solar plexus energy. Like that ain't. That's a rare vibe for a solar plex. Like most of them got like a certain zing to it, you know. But that is it, y'all. Again, because I do like to, make sure I'm in and off for the people who missed, so they could know to what to go back into the video for again, in essence, But then with death, because it's not death, you know what I'm saying? It's a transition, even the body, and also like how even down to the fact of not even having need for like funerals or like graveyards in essence, because you know indigenously we always was able to just connect with that energy. Now of course different tribes may develop different situations over time, but for the most part, when we got a connection to to the ancestors, matter of fact, and I'm doing like this, but also for sure within, then it's no need to have a grave site to have to go to and things of this nature. Matter of fact, that could go to feeding a tree to help the village eat more. You know what I'm saying, and make sure, or not say eat more, but be able to stay being fed and sustain eating by using that bodysuit as some fertilizer for for a tree, instead of putting it to like go worship a site, like and again, that's not to clown or knock, because again I grew up in it and was with that same vibe. Like at one time I went to funerals to actually view the body like, oh, this is the last time I'm gonna see, so and so. Until I realized, like, no, like, matter of fact, and that again, like that person ain't even, that soul ain't even occupying that vessel anymore. So, just again dealing with that energy, the foundation, you know, stop stop running from wherever little areas we need little help and fixing in, take care of what we gotta take care of, 'cause matter of fact, the Virgo energy with the new moon that's coming, you know, it's gonna have us, creating like a little organizing type of vibe in our physical nature. And matter of fact, in the organization vibe with our spiritual growth as well, uh, aligning up with things that we need to make sure we, align up with to be that greatest version of ourselves to matter of fact to get these blessings that that the universe can't wait to give us. And that's just like the universe like, come on, bro, like, let's do this, bro. Go run around the block a few times, go do some exercise, like go read this book a few times, like, bro, just pick up this one book, like, go do this one thing or stop hanging with this one person. You know what I'm saying? Like, as the universe, like, getting us to that point. That's why it's like getting more, close to that complete mode. And we're all on different levels, to that extent of our spiritual growth, and where we at with it. But for the most part, a lot of us is that wave of energy, getting us on that basis. But peace and happy now. Now is the vibrate. The rate at which we're vibing, y'all. All we got is the moment. All I got is right now. Right now. To create the future that I want. And that's what I was always telling myself since my first video. And then we look in the future, and I see where I'm at now. And another now. And now it's still the vibrate. Let me quit that. That's the herb. Now, that's the herb got me being facetious like that. You know what I'm saying? But peace, y'all. Of course, happy now. Now the vibrate. Not too far in the future. Not too far in the past. Right now. Peace, y'all.